Dude, this is it. Black Friday is coming. And I'm telling you, right? The products we're gonna be launching it's like overwhelming. It's so amazing. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek to some of the products that we're gonna be launching for that Black Friday sale. This, again, is about to make life a lot easier for you when you're doing nails. We're gonna be launching some striping gel paint. I'm gonna go ahead and take out a really gentle amount on the end of my brush. And because of the pigmentation, right, I'm gonna be able to paint in some really, really tight lines. And the reason why we waited to launch these gel stripers is we needed a product that was ultra pigmented. We wanted to have a brush that was super fine to paint into detail that you deserve without any movement at all. What I love about the brush and the paint is that you can literally just kind of trace out real detailed circles as well as lines, and you don't have to worry about everything moving at all. Absolutely amazing. The brush is just going to give you the control to drop in some really cool detail. This is just a sneak peek to the many exciting things that are coming Black Friday.
So I've got our black and white stripers today, and I'm going to do a really fun kind of a plaid design that you can use really any time of the year. So I've started the nail with my favorite combination for the holidays. It's 1 coat of scarlet and 1 coat of ruby in our manicure gel polishes. So I've started with that, cured each of the coats in between. I've left that tacky surface on, and let's go into our plaid design. So I'm going to start with our white striper. So I'm going to start just going from cuticle to free edge. And when I'm making a thicker line, I tend to lay that brush down a little bit more onto the nail. I'm not straight up and down like this. If I'm doing a thinner line, I tend to use more of the tip of the brush. Whereas if I'm doing a thicker line, I tend to lay it down a little bit more. So I'm just going to make a little bit of a thicker line here. So you want to make sure that you're polishing on a thin, even coat of the gel paint. You don't want it too thick because you still want to make sure that it's going to cure all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and cure this one. Now when I'm working with the striper gel paints, I tend to like to do more of a 30-second cure rather than with the Mission Controls. You can usually do like a 10-second cure just to freeze it. But with the gel paints, with the striping gel paints, those I feel like they need that little bit of extra time. So about 30-second cure time in between. I'm going to come back in. So about 1/3 of the way down the nail, and then I'm going to come across the nail. Now when I'm coming across, I tend to kind of fade off to the side. I don't do well turning the nail on the side to get a nice straight line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the left side of my line set, and then I'm going to turn and adjust the finger so that I can get that right side of my nail. Just to make sure that I get a nice straight even line. So now again, I'm going to turn the finger on the side, and then I can come down on the side here. Now, if you don't get perfect lines before you cure it, it's okay to use a cleanup brush, either your gel brush, or if you have just like a little makeup brush or something like that, you can use to clean up your designs. So again, a quick 30-second freeze into place. Okay, so I'm going to work with my black. Now again, I'm going to run that brush around the top, get any of that extra gel paint from the stem of the brush. And with this one, I'm going to wipe out quite a bit of that paint because I'm going to do some pretty thin lines. So you can see I've just kind of run it around the inside of the bottle so you can see that that brush gets nice and thin. If I had too much paint on it, you're going to see how thick that brush actually looks. So for my thinner lines, wipe out a good amount of that paint. Okay? You can also use your painting tile if that helps to wipe out some of the extra. Sometimes I'll even put a little bit on my tile so that way I can see again how much I'm taking out And then if I need to just take a little bit more, I can use it right from the tile there. Now, because I'm doing thinner lines, I'm going to keep my brush up a little bit straighter and just use the point of the brush. So I'm going to come right down the middle, and I'm just kind of working nice and slow so that I get that nice straight line right down the middle. Okay, I'm going to do a thin line down on the other side, so each side of the white. So again, if your white wasn't perfect when you laid it down, that's okay too. You're going to come back in with your black and you can kind of crisp up those white edges too. And then again, down the middle of the white, and again, just using the point of my brush, I'm going to come across the top of that white, almost just outlining our white, and then the bottom. Okay, we'll go ahead and cure that. So we've got kind of our base of our design here. Now we're just going to start to add in some kind of accent lines to give us a little bit more detail. So with these, I'm going to do maybe more of a medium thick line. All right, I'm going to freeze that into place again. So we got our black accents. Let's go ahead and do our white accents. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and freeze that back into place one more time, and then we'll top coat our design. I'm going to use our ultimate finish because it's a one and done. You don't have to worry about wiping off the tacky surface. It's going to be dry once it's cured. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cure that out for a full 60 seconds. I'm going to do a second design that you can do for a two-tone nail, or otherwise you can kind of adjust it and do a full nail with it. But I'm going to do just the free edge on here today. Okay, so I'm going to start with my black, and I'm going to again just get kind of a thin amount on my brush. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to kind of visualize where do I want my smile line. So I'm going to start with my smile line right about there. So I'm going to draw a line just down the middle, nice and straight, and you can make these lines as thick or as thin as you want. And then I'm going to come around and I'm going to pull that up into my smile line. So again, just a nice thin line. Again, if you need to, take a little bit of swipe on your brush. And if you need to clean anything up or adjust, go ahead and touch that line up. Okay, we'll go ahead and freeze that. I'm going to come into my white. I'm going to do the other side. And then again, create your smile line. I'm going to come back onto the other side now, and again I'm going to do a white line and then into our smile line. So again, a quick 30-second freeze into place. Okay, so again we're just alternating between our black and our white. Okay, we'll go ahead and freeze that. Okay, so we're at our white. I'm going to come in with my white here. All right, we will set that into place. All right, so we've got one more, and we will cure this one and top coat. Okay, so again, I'm going to use just my ultimate finish top coat. We'll top coat that whole nail, cure it out for a full 60 seconds, and then we've got our black and white kind of an illusion with our smile line.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now.